Morning, Geneva. I'm thankful for this opportunity, and I'm especially thankful for those of you who have prayed for me this morning about this. It means a lot. I want to start with some of my story, but ultimately focus on something particular God has been showing me lately. It's interesting because I never thought I would be doing this, although it has been a desire, and I'm very curious at the mix of nervousness and peace I'm given. And someone recently told me about Isaiah 32:17, which says, "And the effect of righteousness will be peace, and the result of righteousness, quietness and trust forever." Wow. If I want to be presumptuous, let's be presumptuous in the promises of the Lord, right? I come from a troubled childhood. My parents had issues. I reflected them, I think, by setting fires, although that was never my strict intention. My troubles and my parents' troubles led me to be left at a hospital for purposes that were, I'm sure, for good, but when you're 4 years old or 5 and your parents just take you to a hospital and leave you, it doesn't look good to you. I was in foster care twice, and my foster parents, good as they were, did not emulate love as well as I think I needed. My mom was not in the picture, although she tried. She had her own demons she was facing, and thankfully she's overcome them to a degree, but not without consequences. Eventually I was raised just by my dad, but he had a troubled childhood of his own, and it was hard for him to express love because of the abuse in ways it was suffered to him by his own father. I came to Geneva in 2009, just a year after my dad had died. And as I like to say, I wasn't ready for the real world, so let's just go to college some more. And since then, Geneva and the people I've surrounded myself with around here have shown me a much more complete God than I've ever known before. I wasn't what I would consider now a Christian before I came here. And it's taken a lot of work. I've been here over 10 years now, and God's not done with me yet, but he still continually impresses his love upon me. There's been a lot of reconciling. It's interesting to understand that we are sinful people, and yet we are loved by God. It's interesting to understand that we all have our own personal sins that we struggle with, and yet somehow, even though we can hate ourselves, we don't really get that right. Not by our God. God has shown me in numerous ways, through people and families that have walked alongside me, not giving up on me, and putting into me the grace of God. And through other things like his word, which we are so keenly aware of and so thankful for, and books by people who have been in his word and read his word, by authors like Peter Scazzaro, Dane Ortland, and even Brene Brown, yes. I have been fed into this understanding of God's love for me that I still have a hankering to fight against. It is so pernicious how insidious I fight against it sometimes. But he doesn't give up on me. You know, sometimes I'll find myself listening to music soundtracks by people like James Horner, Thomas Newman, James Newton Howard, and the lovely John Williams, of course. And I'll hear something so lovely, God will just stop time. And it's like I realize in that moment, God created this piece of music for me to hear because he loves me, and he wants to whisper the goodness and the joy of it into my mind. It's such a lovely thing to know his love. God is continually showing me that I am his beloved Son, in whom he is well pleased. I'd like to end with a few scriptures that help attest to such realities, not just for me, but for all of his children. Psalm 8, 4 through 5. What is a man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Yes, you have made him a little lower than the heavenly beings, and crowned him with glory and honor. And then, if you ever think that God doesn't know, you try this one on for size. Psalm 139, 13 and 14. For you have formed my inward parts. You wove me in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. God loves everyone, especially his children. Remember, John 10:10. The thief, that is the devil, he has a name, comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I, that is Jesus Christ, came that they, which is me and you, may have life and have it more abundantly. Thank you, Geneva.